Hey guys, this is Sam, and I'm excited to finally report that we have seen some images of the iPhone 7s and gotten some new information about it. This has been a mystery phone that nobody's been talking about. All the rumors and leaks have been focused on the iPhone 8, and we've gotten some new information there as well. So lots to talk about. Let's go ahead and jump in. The iPhone 7s lineup for me has been really confusing because we heard a really long time ago from Bloomberg that we would be seeing 3 new iPhone models in 2017, the iPhone 7s, the iPhone 7s Plus, and then some ultra premium iPhone 8, iPhone X, iPhone Edition, new ultra premium iPhone. And we've heard so many details about the iPhone 8. It seems like everybody, every tech pundit, every website has been focused on the 8. But at the same time, there's also 2 other phones coming from Apple in 2017, which I think is really notable. So finally, in the past week or so, we've seen some new images of the iPhone 7s. Dummy units began leaking out, and it looks a little bit different than the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. As you can see in these images, the silver is not a metal silver like with the iPhone 6 through the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. It is a glass back, identical, well, not identical, but very similar to how the iPhone 8 is going to look. And this glass back means one thing for sure. It looks like we will be seeing wireless charging across the board this year on the iPhone 7s, the iPhone 7s Plus, and even the iPhone 8. Initially, I thought that Apple might save wireless charging just for the ultra premium iPhone 8 model, but because they are changing to glass backs, it's a very good indication that that same feature could and should be coming to the iPhone 7s as well, because we heard a while back that wireless charging would be coming to all 3 iPhone models. Just up until this point, we hadn't seen any concrete images of the iPhone 7s and 7s Plus, so we didn't know for sure. And we won't know for sure until Apple announces it on stage, but I'd say this is a pretty good sign. Another design trend that we're seeing with the iPhone 7s and iPhone 8 lineup is this silver or color matching lining that goes around the device. Bloomberg first reported that we would see something like this a few months back, and I don't think it looks that great. On the black models, it blends really well. It's painted black, and I think it looks fantastic, especially in this image right here. But on these silver iPhones and maybe even a new copper gold color that we'll be talking about in a second, I don't think it blends in that well. It's kind of a cool change, but to me, on the silver and the gold, it almost makes the phone look cheap, like there's this little plastic lining around it. Keep in mind, a lot of what I'm talking about pertains exclusively to the silver and gold iPhone 7s models. You're going to see the same silver lining around the dual camera setup, and these photos were originally shared by 9to5Mac that came courtesy of Sonny Dixon, who was really involved in the iPhone game a few years back, I think with the iPhone 5s and 6, and then he just kind of dropped off, but it looks like he might be back sharing these images. We've seen some dummy units out that look the exact same with the glass back, the silver lining, or color matched lining around the device, and it looks like a new iPhone. I was not expecting this many design changes to come to the iPhone 7s lineup, but it looks like we'll be seeing wireless charging in addition to this new look. So even after all that, we don't know that much about the iPhone 7s. We know that it will probably have wireless charging and that it's probably going to have this new design, but we don't know anything about the internals or the camera upgrades or pretty much anything else. So hopefully we see more information soon, but as of right now, the iPhone 7s is still a lot of a mystery. Now heading over to the iPhone 8, we have seen a new color option leaked, and I want to hear what you guys think about this down below in the comments section. Everybody is calling it copper gold because it looks like a copper colored gold. Nothing too exciting there, and the design is largely the same as what we've seen before. We've got that same lining around it, once again color matched to match the color of the iPhone. Silver lining around the camera that goes vertical. It looks sort of strange. I'm still not a fan of the silver lining, and I don't think I ever will be no matter how hard I try. But the color itself is new. It's something that we haven't seen before, and we've heard that there wouldn't be that many color options for the iPhone 8. Of course, there's going to be a black iPhone this year. We've seen that every year since pretty much the iPhone 2G or 3G, and that color is not going away anytime soon. And then white and silver started with the iPhone 4, and we got that. And then we got gold with the iPhone 5s, rose gold with the iPhone 6 or 6s, and right now based on the hue of this photo, it looks like copper gold will be a mix of rose gold and gold, and it's not clear if rose gold and gold color options will be staying around. So far, we haven't seen any iPhone 8 or iPhone 7s dummies leak that have a true rose gold or true gold color. They're all present with the new copper gold color, but I really like the way it looks. Once again, when you go to the front of the iPhone 8, the copper gold looks a little bit sketchy, just because right now, the best looking iPhone 8 to buy is going to be the black. If you're using a giant black display and you have a white outline, it's going to look a little bit weird. And while on the back it looks really great, I'm not the biggest fan of how it looks on the front right now. Now, in case you were still holding out for another iPhone 8 design, maybe all these dummies were fakes, maybe Apple planted a fake iPhone 8 design inside of the HomePod firmware, which is very unlikely, but I guess technically possible. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. This is the final design of the iPhone 8. A very well-known leaker on Twitter, EV Leaks, who leaks a ton of Android stuff, has been really quiet about the iPhone 8 for a reason, because he wants to make sure that when he shares something, it's the real deal. But he just broke his silence the other day and shared this image of the iPhone 8 encased. Now, we can't see all the gore details on the back, but we can see the cutout at the top with the speaker, the camera systems, and we see no home button, no Touch ID. So at this point, it is all but confirmed. Well, hey, it's been confirmed by Apple themselves that this is the iPhone 8's design. If you were hoping for something else, maybe check out the iPhone 7s lineup, because that looks like it will have some minor changes very similar to the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus's design. The biggest controversy surrounding the iPhone 8 right now is Touch ID. We've heard back and forth and back and forth. It's going to have it in the screen. It's going to be in the power button. It's not going to be anywhere. It's going to be Face ID. It's like a boxing match. Every week we're going back and forth, and up until this point, nobody really knew. But one thing that is certain is that inside of the HomePod's firmware, there has been zero mention of in-screen Touch ID or Touch ID in a power button. It's not found, and it looks like Bloomberg's report from a while back is going to be true, that the iPhone 8 will not have Touch ID, and more, that sounds like something that's feasible. At first, it sounded absolutely crazy. I couldn't believe it. But now it sounds like it could be something kind of cool. The biggest concern that I've heard about Face ID from all of you is how it would work if your device is laying on a table. So if it's laying right here, can you unlock your iPhone? And according to some HomePod code that just keeps revealing more details about this next iPhone, yes, it should work when your device is laying on a table, but there are some other concerns as well. If it's perpendicular to your face and it can't see your face at all and you want to unlock your phone, but that's kind of unlikely because you're not going to be looking at your phone like that in the first place. Or number two, how is this feature going to work at night? When there is no light in the room, when there's poor lighting, is it going to be able to successfully read and scan your face in a reasonable amount of time, quicker or just slightly slower than Touch ID? So lots of questions still unanswered, and for some of these, unless the HomePod code reveals them, they'll probably go unanswered until September. Now, up until last week, we hadn't heard a lot about the iPhone 8's camera system, other than, of course, based on the dummies and the leaks and the mock-ups, that it's going to have a dual vertical camera setup on the back, probably with the flash in the middle. We saw last week, though, that 4K video recording at 60 frames per second would probably be coming to the device, and as a video person, I am super excited to see that. It's going to make 4K video look so much smoother, and it should look amazing on the new iPhone 8 screen. And even more HomePod code this week has also indicated that we're going to be seeing some more video upgrades as well. It seems like at this point, video is going to be the focus of the iPhone 8's camera, which I cannot wait to check out. But this HomePod code says that 1080p video recording at 240 FPS is going to be coming to the iPhone 8, which means that slow-mo video is going to get a huge jump, because the current standard on the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus is 720p at 240 frames per second. We're going to be jumping up to 1080p at 240, and I think that will look incredible. Slow-mo is going to be a big upgrade. Now, moving over to battery life, I feel like every year this is something that we don't hear all that much about until we get very close to the iPhone's launch, when batteries and parts start leaking. But we've seen some leak schematics that continue to indicate that the iPhone 8 will finally have a larger battery, which is such a good sign on so many levels, because the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, if you own one, well, the 7 Plus is a different story, but at least the iPhone 7, I can usually get through a day, but sometimes the battery life is just awful, and it doesn't seem like even from the iPhone 6 to the iPhone 7, the battery life has gotten that much better. The new features seem to kill the battery life each and every year, and I've been hoping for the longest time that Apple would pay attention to battery life. And finally, with the iPhone 8, it looks like that could be the case. We've seen this new L-shaped battery design rumored for a very long time now, and that is going to give us a lot more battery. I don't think we have any specific milliamp hours as far as how big the upgrade is going to be now, but a bigger battery is going to be so nice, and it's something that I've wanted for the longest time. As of right now, the iPhone 8 is still rumored to release in September alongside the new iPhone 7s and 7 Plus models. We've heard this for the longest time, but as we get closer to release, I think Apple is realizing that they started production a little bit late. There's rumored to be a pretty big shortage of the iPhone 8, specifically the iPhone 7s and 7s Plus, because they just have regular screens, are going to be fine. They'll probably be available in nice quantities for a while. Of course, every iPhone's going to be a little tightly constrained at launch just because everybody's trying to get their hands on them, but especially the iPhone 8 is rumored to be very hard to get your hands on. KGI says that it might not be readily available until sometime in 2018, believe it or not, the following calendar year. Now, early in 2018, but still, that's a long time from September, at least a good 3 or 4 months until it's readily available, which could be an issue for people wanting to get their hands on the device. So maybe think about spending the night at the Apple Store if you really want to get one of these. Anyway, guys, it is going to wrap up this video. That's everything you need to know right now about the iPhone 7s and the iPhone 8, the latest news and leaks and rumors. If you're excited for them or you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button down below, and of course hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this and when the devices actually launch at some point in the future. I've been Sam. I hope all of you are doing great, and I'll talk to you later. So the setup is a little bit different in this video. That's because I moved back to college. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you'd see that while moving back is always a pain, the internet here is absolutely fire. Uploads are going to be coming at you guys so much faster, which I'm really hyped about. And I don't know, the setup's a work in progress. I like it though. I'm using natural light, so that's why it just randomly gets dark sometimes.